And we are back to Shades of Green on KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM here in the Valley of Sun and Sin, Las Vegas. Our guest today is Sarah Chatterjee. We're talking power shift programs, NV Energy's incentive programs for solar and electric vehicles. Where can people find more information on the programs you have available?
So customers can go to nvenergy.com and they can go either under Clean Energy or Save Energy. So Clean Energy will have all of our solar, energy storage or battery, as well as electric vehicle incentives. And then under Save Energy, they'll be able to see different kinds of energy efficiency kinds of programs and how they can save energy.
Great. And when we went to break, we were talking about the Southern Nevada Fleet Association. Do you have anything more on that, Stan?
Yeah, I know that they're a great group for the local area here, and basically they've been active for over 20 years. So it's neat to see that they're on the leading edge of trying to implement cleaner vehicles, but looking at all different types of fuel types as well as electric. But definitely electric vehicles are part of that.
Proof that we live in a very sustainable state.
And
Yes,
I'd like
we
to
do.
add that it's now being led by Marie Still, who is a former Green Alliance board member, and we absolutely love her. That organization's going to do nothing but great things with her leadership.
She works very hard in this industry.
She sure does.
Sure does. So tell us a little bit about the Power Shift program, Sarah.
So with PowerShift, there's just a whole suite of program offerings for both residential and commercial customers. Two of my favorites are the home energy assessment. So there's two ways you can go about the home energy assessment. So we have an online tool that will actually do that home energy assessment online for you and provide recommendations, so you can get to that on our website. But we also have a program where we'll send out an energy advisor to your home. They'll walk through your home with you. They'll go through looking at your different appliances, your lighting, your windows, your doors, and make recommendations for your specific home and how you can save energy. And then you usually get some kind of giveaway, maybe an LED light bulb or something like that. The second program that I really like is our smart thermostat program. So that's a $300 value. We'll go out and we will install a smart thermostat for you, and you'll be able to control that with a smartphone app, either iPhone or Android app. So you'll be able to program your thermostat, really learn how to save energy with that technology as well.
I think it's a great program. I've had it done at two of my houses. I'm on my third thermostat, and it it makes you feel smarter too. So it's not only a smart thermostat, but you become a smart user.
Yep.
And it teaches you more about what you're doing with your house. And then if you go that next step and go onto your website and look at your utility bills and see when you're using power and how you're using power, it helps you reduce your costs and use your power more wisely, and maybe even reduce your carbon footprint a little bit. So we need to go on and talk about some announcements and upcoming events. Stan, kick us off here. The Nevada, don't you have an electric vehicle program coming up?
We're just doing ongoing things. There's a Las Vegas Electric Vehicle Association that meets on the second Saturday of every month. And also, if people own Teslas, there's a Las Vegas Tesla owners group that meets down at the Lazy Dog restaurant, usually second or Saturday or Sunday of the month. And they get together for brunch. That's also the site of about 8 to 10 supercharger stations. So it's right on Las Vegas Boulevard. And if you're interested in that, contact either organization and learn more about electric cars.
And that group has grown a lot over the years, hasn't it, Stan?
Amazingly. Yeah, they started with 3 people about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and now there's at least 400 people on the mailing list, over 200 active owners, and I think more than that every day. So it's
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
You know, we talk about the procession that we do every year for Greenfest too, and that procession is actually dedicated, if you remember, to Don Carrier,
Don Carrier, yes.
who is the founder.
Yeah, Don owned the very first signature version of the Model S. That I probably had the first one in the Valley over, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, he passed away about 3 years, but he was one of these folks that was, if you ever needed somebody to help or volunteer to present electric cars, he was always there. So
He was right
we
there.
appreciated Don.
Well, and he and Matt Watson and some of the originals, Rufus, were always there whenever we had an event with their cars and their dogs,
Right.
if you remember. And I'll never forget when Don said, "My vision is to have some kind of parade of nothing but electric vehicles, so that it could show the community on not only are they energy efficient and clean energy source of the solution on the vehicle side, but how beautiful they are and how quiet they are. And people just can't realize that you can actually go and shift to electric vehicles and still drive a really good looking car.
Yeah, and a fast,
And a
high-performance
fast,
car.
yeah.
That's amazing. So it's really changed the name of the game. It's been fun.
I have heard recommendations that you need to put a playing card in your spokes on an electric vehicle so people can hear you.
Hear you coming around the corner in the shopping lots.
So
Video game noises.
speaking of events, Annette, tell us a little bit about the event this last weekend, the Waterfest event.
Sure, absolutely. So the Green Alliance partnered with the Clark County Water Reclamation District and the very first Water Fest, which kind of has evolved from their open house that they hold every year, which provides tours of the facility, which all of us have now done the tour, and it's pretty darn interesting watching what they do with everything that goes down the drain, everything. And
Sinks,
so
toilets.
yeah, sinks, toilets, anything that goes down. So it was really fun. We had about 28 exhibitors that had some type of educational piece to what happens with water, not just down the drain, but also stormwater. What are all the different steps that take place while they are purifying the water and getting it clean so they can return it back in to Lake Mead. And it was, we had about 500 people actually attend, which was phenomenal. We interacted with at least 200. But the kids and families, they were all learning. And I loved some of the responses as they came back, because I said, "What's your favorite thing? What did you see that was so educational?" It's the wipes. They had no idea how many wipes are going down the drain and how it just accumulates into piles
We need
and
to talk
piles.
about that a little bit. We
Yes,
did
let's
the VIP
do.
tour last week, and they talked about the wipes and how they gather together, and they talk about how you can get a gathering of these wipes that they say they're flushable. No wipes are flushable. No wipes are flushable. And they talked about you can get one of these balls of wipes,
Right.
and they'll go into a pump and shut a pump down because they're the size of a basketball. Well, they actually keep track of how big these balls of wipes get, and there was one in England that was the size of a bus. So they have much larger sewage drains, sewage systems, and these wipes would gather together and end up being the size of a bus. Now, that is a horrible thing to get into your system, and a terrible thing to work with, and it does all these effects on the pumps and all the systems. So the rule is there's only 3 P's that go down the toilet.
Exactly.
TP, pee, and poo. Nothing else. No dental floss, no wipes, no...
Personal hygiene.
Bill Cosby talked about flushing an overcoat. Don't flush overcoats.
No
Don't put anything, no personal hygiene.
No
Nothing
pharmaceutical.
goes down
That's
there.
another big one.
Don't dump your drugs down the drain.
Yeah, that's another issue.
They do a collection at Metro police departments where you can actually walk in with your bag of your unused
Medication.
medication and
Medication.
dispose of it, and then they properly dispose of it, which
Yes,
is
Contaminated water.
because we have return credits at CCWRD, we take out more water than we're allowed, but we're allowed to do that because we have return credits,
You
and we
recycle.
clean that water and recycle it back to the lake. When you recycle that water back to the lake, it carries all those medicines with you. So with the water, so it ends up back in our drinking water when it recycles back through. So we thank everyone for listening this week. It's been great. We'll be back on next week, Shades of Green on KDWN. Keep it green out there. We'll see you next week.